Hi guys, Shelly here with the Gray Wren Nest. It's been a little over 2 weeks, maybe more like 3 weeks since I've sent out a video for our summer garden tour. And the main reason is I wanted to wait until my hydrangeas started blooming like this. Aren't they beautiful? I love them. This one is a Menards version, and it's called a PG, and it reminds me of Limelight. And it's in its second year, believe it or not. Now what I do after it blooms, sometime in early winter, late fall, I'm gonna cut these back, just the bloom heads, because last year I did not cut them back. And I had dried blooms everywhere. It was just kind of ridiculous. So in the fall, late fall, early winter, I'll cut off the blooms, not the leaves. I'll let the leaves, you know, fall off by themselves. And I'll take this whole tree and shift it underneath my porch. Similar to what this ledge is right here. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it's on that side of the house. And I just shift my pots over to the side of the house, and it still gets natural sunlight and natural rain all winter. And then in the spring, I'll trim back all of my twigs, you know, all of the branches, and I trim them back fairly small and compact because I really don't want this to get a whole bunch bigger, but I sure do love all the blooms that it produces. These are in pots that are on drip, and look at this Hoopla Vivid Orchid. Let me shift the camera down a little. This is Hoopla Vivid Orchid, and my, there are 6 plants in this. It's going to town, and it loves its space. These are on drip 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. Now that we're in the upper 80s, finally, I can say we're in the upper 80s. We did have a small heat wave where we were over 100. But here in Ohio, zone 6B, we do have a high humidity. In fact, you just walk outside and you start to sweat. But when it gets like that in the upper 80s, I do water these twice a day, 20 minutes on drip, so that they get nice and watered and my blooms stay nice and fresh. And then I also use Proven Winners water soluble fertilizer once a week. And I fertilize down at the base here for the Supertunias, but I really think that's why this is growing so big and gorgeous, because it's taking up the water-soluble plant food as well from Proven Winners. So this is a win. Yay. So this is the back side of this beautiful hydrangea. And look, there's a little bit more sun here, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to capture its beauty because there's so much sun. Here's a nice picture of a bud. The flowering stem is my. This just really surprised me, because I was worried about getting, you know, a hydrangea on sale like this and having it be more of a general name and not Proven Winners, because you know me, I love Proven Winners. But it is performing its head off, and it's gorgeous. $60, you can't beat it. This is another big win for me so far. These are another PG hydrangea from Menards, although this one has a different, more open, airy bloom head. And it reminds me of Pinky Winky with Proven Winners when it blooms out. Now, what I've learned about this one, this particular tree, this hydrangea, is that it will droop when it gets wet once these blooms get real big, which surprises me because they're open and airy, but it does happen. So this is the one that I added the meshing system to on the inside, the green mesh from Lowe's. I'll show you here in a minute how it's working. But take a look at these blooms. They're just getting ready to bud out really well. And look at the Hoopla Vivid Orchid. Wow, wow, wow. Once again, I do the exact same method that I just shared with you on how I winter them over the winter, how I fertilize. So this gets the exact same method and it's very happy. So these are the blooms. They're just now getting started. And this is the mesh system. So it goes all the way around, and when I had this cut way down, this meshing system looks like, oh, I've got too much here. But look how tall these buds are. I mean, look at that one, it's way up here. So I'm curious to see if I even have this meshing system high enough. So far it's effective, and we've had some major storms where I thought maybe my whole pot was gonna blow over, but luckily it didn't. But this meshing system so far is working. I'll keep you updated to see how it does once this blooms out, and then we get another big storm, but I'm very pleased with the structure. These that are hanging down a little bit more, they are caught in here with different branches. So if it's gonna droop, it's just gonna droop down here by the base where the flower buds are. But this is how I keep it upright when it storms. I have wire, I have rubber coated wire that comes down on my pot, and in the pot I drilled holes right here, and that keeps it as straight as I can, as straight as possible. Then I have another coated wire here that's white because I have a white post, and it comes around here and ties. This year I added bungee cords around the pot to help hold it so that it does not fall during a huge storm, because last year I had a couple of them fall. These hydrangeas are my Limelight Primes from Proven Winners, and they are just now starting to form their flower buds, and I have a couple of them that are starting to open up. These grow 4 to 6 feet high and 4 to 5 feet wide, and they're tolerant in zones 3 to 8. And we're a northern climate, so we plant them in full sun. If you're in southern climate, plant them in part shade. It says to plant them anywhere from 4 to 5 feet apart. Of course, you know me, I'm a little anxious to get them started and form a hedge, so mine are more like 3 feet apart. And I love these because they grow taller than wider, which is just perfect for this spot, because from the road I want to see the blooms. So they need to get pretty high because they're on a sloped hill like this. And if I want to see them from the road, they need to get a little taller. I'm just starting to see them from the road this year, which makes me super happy. The blooms come out white, and then it'll turn to a nice soft punchy pink. Not a real deep pink, but I'll insert a picture here so you can see what it looks like from last year when it was in full bloom. This is in full bloom, and then soon they start to get their pink, and they're progressing throughout the late summer and into early fall. But these are a little bit later starters, more, I think they're closer to Limelight when it produces its buds, but it buds earlier than Limelight. So I am very pleased with this. I use rose tone on these in the spring, more like March, and then I also gave it an extra boost here in July, just around the base. I just put a handful around the front of the base and the back of the base, and that keeps them happy all year round. This one does not get water-soluble fertilizer each week, which could be another reason why my other plants over here, down here on the balcony area, why they might be blooming sooner than these, because these get really a lot of plant food just because of the Supertunias, and these do not. I probably could fertilize them, but they're just as gorgeous as when they bloom out, and If any of you fertilize yours once a week with water-soluble fertilizer, please let me know. I might add that to my regime. You can see that on the stair-step part of the wall, this is Hoopla Vivid Orchid. I tried to use the same type of plantings. Here, I'll take you around this way. So that, you know, my sides of the yards match the back of the yard. So I've got these beautiful stair-stepped Hoopla Vivid Orchid, and there are 3 plants in these pots. So I have to do a voiceover in this section because I didn't realize that our neighbors that are building a house had music on, and I don't know how to take the music out without being dinged for copyright. So please bear with me. But these are little Hottie hydrangeas. I love them. They are from First Editions, and it says to grow in at least 5 hours of direct sunlight, and these definitely get at least 5 hours of direct sunlight. In fact, by noon on, they get full, bright, hot sun on the west side of our house, and they do beautifully. They mature at about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide, and they go in growing zones 3 to 8, and they are true winners. I have these on drip from 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening, just like the rest of the hydrangeas. I never have to worry about them. I fertilize in the spring around March, and then I fertilize again in July with a handful of rose tone. And then take a look at those garden socks below. Those garden socks with Supertunia, Vista, Indigo are out of this world. They are doing great, and I love them. It's just exactly what I pictured. They're growing over the garden socks, and you can't even see them. It looks like a mound of flowers. Exactly what I had envisioned, and I hope you like them too. So you can see it is just covered with blooms. And they're sturdy too. You can't see it right now, and I'm not really feeling it yet, but they get big and massive, and they're dense, very dense bloom structure. And this whole thing will turn white, and then at the base it'll start greening up later on, and then at the more around the tip of it, it's more pink in the fall. And I'll insert a picture on that one also. But this is, takes my breath away. It's so beautiful. They stay white most of the summer, but this picture was from last fall, and it truly doesn't do it justice. I mean, these color mixtures are beautiful. Here I'm showing you how the Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo wraps around the house, and this is another focal point. This hydrangea is also a Proven Winners brand. It is Little Lime Punch. And boy, does that color really say its name. It colors up to a beautiful punchy color, and I'll show you a picture here in the fall in just a second. But this grows, it needs partial sun to full sun, at least 5 hours of direct sunlight. It matures to 3 to 5 high and 3 to 5 wide. And I believe these are in its second full growing season, if I'm not mistaken. I planted them in the late fall a couple years ago. So last year was the first full growing season, and this year is the second, I believe. I could be wrong on that. It might even be the third year, because I've planted some in stages, and I honestly can't remember. The growing zone is 3 to 8. I also fertilize these and water these the same on drip, just as I do all of my other hydrangeas, and they are just stunning. I love them. This was from last fall. This is the picture I always take in all of my videos, and I'm finally getting to realize the picture that I've been wanting. The Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo with the hydrangea, and then my self-watering pot, which I do have a video on if you're interested. I made that one. But it has Jazzberry in it and Gara, white Gara, and it is just an absolute picture-perfect corner. This hydrangea, this is a panicle hydrangea standard. It's a tree form, and this is my borrowed view from my neighbor's house that I can see every single day. And I get just a little jealous because this blooms early. This blooms mid-spring. It's the earliest, one of the earliest. Now Quickfire Fab, I believe, is the earliest, but this one used to be considered the earliest blooming. They might be comparable in their blooms, Quickfire Fab and Quickfire bloom time, I should say, but the bloom structures are completely different. So this is Quickfire. It's not little Quickfire. It's the big mature Quickfire tree in standard form. They get a lot of pollinators. This panicle is open and airy, and it starts out bright white, and this one's just getting ready to start turning its vibrant pink colors, and it'll stay pink all summer long. It'll be pink up here. It'll pink up here pretty soon, but it has been blooming like this for at least 3 weeks, and we are we're at July 11th. Might even be sooner than that, quite honestly, because I know I just kind of salivate over this tree because it is such a beautiful tree when it first blooms out, and nothing else, no other hydrangeas around me anyway, are blooming yet. So it's my borrowed view, and I'm very happy. Let me get a close-up on it. So this is also zones 3 to 8, and an interesting thing about this one is that he does not have it on drip. So it gets mainly whenever, like maybe once a week if he is out watering, but he is usually pretty busy guy. I don't really see him watering this tree. It's just healthy, and it loves its place, and it's mature, and I think it's been here maybe 5 years. Isn't that gorgeous? So these panicles are nice and open and airy, and let me see if I can show you ones that are, okay, here's one that's got, let's see, can you see it? Let's see. See the pink dots starting to form? And honestly, I think if this tree were on drip, it would be even bigger than what it is. And I also believe that the pink would stay more vibrant, but it turns kind of a pinky brown. And I think that's just, it's not the natural color, but if it had a little more water, the pink would remain a little more vibrant throughout the season. So that shows you what water will do for your hydrangeas, but it's still a nice, healthy specimen, and I get to see it every day. Makes me smile. So on the other side of my house, look at these beautiful Supertunias. Ugh, be still my heart. They mirror the other ones on the other side of the house, going down those fake steps. It's really a stepped wall. On this side of the house, the east side of the house, we have Bobo and little Quickfire. I showed you the big Quickfire standard, and this is called little Quickfire. Here's my Bobo. Look at those blooms. Oh my gosh. They're getting ready to open. Some of them already are. Now, last year, I think they're doing better this year. Last year, they were kind of stunted and didn't reach their full potential. Don't know why. I'm hoping I have better luck with them this year, and we'll see. If I don't have any luck with them this year, I might try something else. But I love Bobos. They're gorgeous, and I'm going to give it a good try again. This is year 5 for them, and we do cut them down quite. We prune them down very well. Probably about 18 inches to 2 feet off the ground, just to keep them size controlled, but they would be much bigger. But when I'm talking about bigger, I mean bloom wise, and healthy blooms too. So they look healthy right now. Let's hope they continue to be on this track and they all bud out rather than stopping at this stage and then wilting on me. So we will see. I do the same thing to these hydrangeas on this side of the house with the drip system, and also with fertilization. This is my little Quickfire. And the interesting thing about this Quickfire this year, which I've noticed on both Quickfires, is that they are blooming first in the front, and then these will catch up. Whereas in the past, they have all bloomed about the same time. And this would be a massive white hedge right here of beautiful blooms, and then they'll turn pink. So I can't wait to show you that. But these are going to turn pink way before those in the back. In fact, I thought I saw some pink here. Let me look. But just look at these gorgeous. Yeah, here's a little bit of pink right here. And they're open and airy. Now, as far as the Bobos go, this panicle is solid, but it's not as structured as the little Hotties that I've been showing you. They're a little more lighter and flowier, but this panicle still is a beautiful shrub when it blooms. Look at this. Fingers crossed. Uh-oh, I feel raindrops. I'm gonna get rained out. I just had to show you my showstopper. This is the vanilla strawberry hydrangea tree, and oh, it takes my breath away. It is definitely coming into its bloom. Look, every single stem has a bloom on it, and they're gorgeous. And look how tall it is already. And I do prune this just a little bit. I deadhead it and reshape it so it stays, you know, a certain shape. Otherwise it could be out of control. It might even be a little bit bigger. But I love this tree. It has never disappointed. And this under here is sedum, autumn joy sedum, and it'll be blooming soon. As soon as they start to pink up, that's when this starts to bloom. This is a picture from last year in the fall. This is a first edition panicle hydrangea tree, growing zones 3 to 8. At mature size, it'll be 6 to 7 feet tall with a spread of 4 to 5 feet wide. It says to plant in full sun to partial shade. Mine is definitely in full sun all day long. And I fertilize and put on drip just the same as all the other hydrangeas in my yard. The last hydrangea I want to share with you is my tiny Quickfire. It says it needs full sun at least 6 hours. They get a little less than 6 hours here, but they seem to do fine. They grow 2 to 3 feet high and wide in growing zones 3 to 8. Their blooming structure is beautiful, and they do turn to a light dusty pink in the fall. And here they're just starting to burst open, but these were the first ones to bloom in my yard this year. I wanted to stand next to my Rose of Sharon so you could see the size of this bush. It is stunning. I love this, and it will continue to bloom like this for several weeks, and then after several weeks we'll just have buds here and there. But isn't this lovely? Oh my gosh. It is so stunning. I'll give you a close-up. So here's a close-up. Oh my, my. And look at all the buds that still have to come on and bloom. But isn't that just breathtaking? My Rose of Sharon. The landscapers planted this, and honestly, I'm not sure of the variety, but I looked it up, and it sure does look like the Proven Winners Star Blast Chiffon Rose of Sharon. Not 100% positive, but I think it is, and it grows in full sun and mature height 8 to 10 feet. It spreads 5 through 8 feet wide, and growing zones 5 to 9. I'm driving home, and this is what I see when I pull up. Isn't that stunning? There's a car behind me, so I gotta go. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.